was one of the slightly unsavoury moment as well, and that did result in an injury, didn't it? Jurgen Klopp running to the fourth official to celebrate in his face and pulling his hamstring at the same time, which is kind of instant karma, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp, Dave. I feel loath to come on and start criticising him again. People will laugh at us and say, "Oh, as a Man United fan and someone who clearly despises Liverpool, picking the bones when we've just won 4-3." Jurgen Klopp was a manager I've got so much respect for as a tactician. He was a personality that I absolutely loved at Dortmund. I think he gets away with absolute murder in the British press and acts far worse than Mourinho ever did and gets completely away with it because he hugs his players. I find it bizarre. I think when you consider the season that Liverpool have had, what's going on with Jurgen Klopp? Does he have a chance to refresh this Liverpool team and start again? His antics on the touchline, do we accept them? What's your assessment of Jurgen Klopp right now?
We've obviously spoken. We wondered where actually earlier on in the season whether this would be his last season. We know when it was going horribly wrong.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to be turning the corner, but they seem to have sort of stabilised a little. And I think it'll all depend on next year. I think he'll be there another year at least. But again, obviously, other teams are going to strengthen as well in the summer. It might depend on. It might even be whoever they get in the summer. You know, if they aren't backed in the transfer window, or backed adequately enough for what Klopp sees as enough, then I think that could be it.
What do you think of his behaviour generally then on the touchline? Is that something that bothers you?
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, I just think he does get away with quite a bit, and even as a United fan, I mean, it's quite funny actually because I feel as though the managers at the top clubs get away with a little bit more than probably lower down. I feel like the scrutiny on some of the bigger teams, it needs to be it needs to be zoomed in on a little bit more. I feel like Guardiola, Arteta to a degree this year as well, as he's been obviously criticised for similar sort of behaviour. And I just feel like it just doesn't get punished. And there really just needs to be some consistency across all levels. It's just a really odd one, and it's obviously it's not just the decision making on the pitch; it's decision making kind of obviously above that. The FA and obviously the Premier League need to be kind of looking at this sort of behaviour, and I don't feel it's fair on the referees to be kind of obviously have this sort of pressure on them, and managers kind of. Really, obviously, we don't know what's being said that as well. And that's the one thing actually. That's the one thing I quite like about, for instance, rugby, is you can hear everything that's going on. And do you know what I mean?
They're trialling it in France, aren't they?
Yeah, they can't. Do you know what I mean? There's no way they're getting away with it, and I quite like that. I don't see that as the only thing about the only thing I say about football is you probably pick up some language in the crowd that maybe you might not so much in obviously other sports, but I think it'd be a great idea, to be honest, and I think it would reduce some of that sort of volatile behaviour that we just don't like to see.
And it would give us more of an understanding of some of the decisions the refs are making on the pitch. I think it's a no-brainer.